Have you ever wondered what type of tax credits are out there for business owners? What if I told you there's one tax form that covers a full array of tax credits? Well, today we're looking into general business credits. And you're looking to learn how to move towards tax free living. Click the link down in the description to sign up for my tax free tax tactics talk. It's coming up. If you ever wondered how to lower your tax bill legally, this is the webinar for you. See you there. Hey there, tax warriors. Welcome to JDB Tax. I'm Brian Eustache, enrolled agent and tax strategist. But I call myself a taxtician, a tax tactician leveraging the tax code to build your financial fortress. And with this segment of Tax Tactics, we're tackling a topic that dives us into Form 3800 and the general business credit. If you're a business owner looking to save money, this video you don't want to miss. So, what exactly is the general business credit? Taxpayers group most available business credits into a general business credit and report them on Form 3800. The general business credit for the year includes any carry forward of business credits from prior years plus the total current year business credits. It might also increase later by the carryback of business credits from later years. One important thing to note is that the general business credit is not refundable. This means you can only subtract the credit directly from your tax liability. It cannot reduce your tax liability below the tentative minimum tax or 25% of your regular tax in excess of $25,000, whichever is greater. Any unused credit can be carried back 1 year or 5 years for credits from oil and gas production from marginal wells, and then carried forward for up to 20 years. If you still have unused credits after the 20-year carry forward period, they may be taken as a deduction. Let's talk about some of the credits included in the general business credit. Now, there are many more than I could cover in this video, but here are key ones. If you want to know more about any specific credit, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more tax content like this, hit the like button. So let's start with the alternative fuel vehicle refueling property credit. This credit applies to the cost of any qualified fuel vehicle refueling property placed in service during business's tax year. Then there's the alternative motor vehicle credit. This credit is the credit amount depends on the year, make, model, and type of new qualifying alternative vehicle purchase, like qualified fuel cell vehicles or qualified plug-in electric drive motor vehicles. Then there's biodiesel, renewable diesel, or sustainable aviation fuel credits. This credit applies to certain fuels sold or used in a business. The amount depends on the type of eligible fuels and how many gallons are sold or used. Then there's credit for employer provided childcare facilities and services. I made a full video on this, and you could find it in the link below, or you can click on the card above. The credit limit is $150,000 per year. Then there's the credit for employer Social Security and Medicare taxes paid on certain employee tips. This credit is generally equal to the employer's portion of Social Security and Medicare taxes paid on tips received by employees of a fast food or food beverage establishment where tipping is customary. Now, there's also the credit for employer differential wage payments. This credit provides small businesses with an incentive to continue paying wages to employees on active duty in uniformed services for more than 30 days. Then there's the credit for increasing research activities, designed to encourage businesses to increase spending on research and experimental activities, including energy research. The regular credit is 20% of the increase in research activities. Then there's the credit for small employer health insurance premiums. This credit is generally 50% of the premiums paid by the employer. Then there's the credit for small employer pension plan startup costs. I also made a full video on this, and you can check that in the description or click the card above. The credit equals up to $5,000 per year for the first 3 years of the plan. Then there's the disabled access credit. This credit is for small businesses that pay or incur expenses to provide access to persons with disabilities. The credit is 50% of the first $10,000 spent. Now, there's also the distilled spirits credit, available to distillers, importers, and eligible wholesalers of distilled spirits. Then there's the Empowerment Zone Employment Credit. This credit is for employers who have employees and they engage in business in an empowerment zone. The credit is 20% of the employer's qualified wages, up to $15,000 paid to qualified employees. Then there's the Energy Efficient Home Credit. Now, this is available for eligible contractors of certain homes sold for use as a residence. The credit is based on the energy saving requirements of the home. Then there's the Indian Employment Credit. It applies to qualified wages and health insurance costs paid for qualified American Indian employees. The credit is up to 20% of the expenses. Then there's the Low Income Housing Credit. It generally applies to each new qualified low income building placed into service ever since 1986. It's typically taken over a 10-year credit period. Then there's the New Markets Credit. This credit is for qualified equity investments in qualified community development entities with the primary mission of serving low-income communities or persons. Then there's the Renewal Community Employment Credit, and it's a carry-forward only credit, but it's allowed for employers who had employees in and engaged in business in the renewal community during a prior tax year and carried over to the current tax year. Then there's the Work Opportunity Credit. Now, this credit is for qualified first or second year wages paid to targeted group employees. The credit is 25% of qualified first year wages of employees working more than 120 but less than 400 hours, 40% of qualified first year wages for employees working more than 400 hours, and 50% of qualified second year wages for long-term family assistance recipients. Actually, here's a visual of some of those targeted groups. So there you have it. Form 3800 in the General Business Credit offers many ways to save on taxes. If you're a business owner, you can take a look at these. Make sure to take advantage of these credits to reduce your tax liability. Now, helping you find business credits is just one of the many ways JDB Tax Strategy helps business owners legally save money on taxes without fear of the IRS by leveraging the tax code to the fullest extent. After booking a consultation call with us at jdbtax.com, we'll build a personalized battle plan to minimize your tax burden and maximize your wealth. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, click all to join me on this epic quest to conquer taxes, claim your financial throne. I post tax tactics every Tuesday and Thursday. See you next time, tax warriors.